Got a great show for you today as the Yankees start a series against the Tigers. The Mets look to get off a loss against the Dodgers. And, of course, Game 2, Rangers and Lightning. And we find out at 4 o'clock today who the first two people to be eliminated from contention for the Pulse of the People Award. So lots cooking, and it's a Friday in New York City. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm great. You know, today is an interesting day because today is the day that every fan in New York has to say, I'm not always right. I got to, at some point, take some ownership as a fan that even though we've never lost the game, I'm not always right. And you're included in that, my friend.
No, I'm definitely
my
not
baseball
always right.
fan friend.
What have I gotten wrong?
My main man who lives and dies with the sport of baseball, who makes suggestions and demands of his team. Mm-hmm. When you're wrong, I think you have to acknowledge, you know what?
I always do.
I got that one wrong.
I always admit I'm wrong.
You normally do, but by your own admission, you don't like to do it in the moment.
But what am I wrong about now?
You're the type of guys you've said to us on this show, and you've told me on the air and off the air privately, that in the moment, that's not when someone should say to you, Evan, you're wrong. You like to let it breathe a little bit.
Right.
And you're much more level-headed maybe 24 hours later, sometimes a week later, sometimes a month later, sometimes 3 years later. You acknowledge, you know what, I got to be honest with the audience. I got to go back in time, and I made a thing, and I said this, and I said that, and the reality is I'm wrong.
All right.
That happens sometimes, Evan. But what you've told me in the year and a half we've been together is, Craig, if you ever want to point out where I got something wrong, just do me a favor.
Yeah.
Wait a day.
Okay.
Because I'm very combative in the moment.
So
you
what
said that.
have I gotten wrong
Have
that
you
you're
not said that,
queuing
Evan?
me up for?
Have you not said that?
I think I have said that, yeah.
You've said just, I know how I am.
Okay.
Wait a couple days, and then we can have a more, I don't know, objective conversation where I might be willing to admit I was wrong.
Intellectually honest discussion.
Intellectually honest, yes. Like last night, I was at a steakhouse. I got the burger. Bad move.
Really?
I take ownership of it. Bad move. Worst burger I've ever had in my life. BLT steak, you should be embarrassed by yourselves. All right. Here's the deal. You ready?
What have I done?
It's not just you, Evan.
What have we done?
Yeah, thank you.
What have we done?
You represent all Met fans today for this one particular conversation.
Okay.
And I implore Met fans to own it today. Today you have to own it.
Go ahead.
All right?
Go ahead.
And I went back and I Googled it.
You Googled it?
I did research
so
today.
This is a long-term opinion that we as Met fans had? Like an opinion from a while ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay? I want you to own it.
No, I think I now know what you're getting at.
I want you to come on the radio today and say, Craigie, you know what?
Yeah.
I got this one wrong.
Now, I don't want to say what I think you're going to say.
I got it wrong,
because
Craig.
I don't want to own two mistakes when I only have to own one mistake. So I'm going to let you explain it before I open my mouth and explain a mistake that I think you're getting at in case you're not thinking of that one. Go ahead.
Yep. If the New York Mets don't sign Joe Girardi, they've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
Right?
I have bad news, Craig.
Every single Met fan alive today that was alive a couple years ago.
Yes.
When Girardi went to Philly, obviously.
Yes.
After being fired from the Yankees and did not come to manage the Mets. Every one of you, Frank the Tag, KFC, you, every big mouth Met fan out there, the New York Mets better sign Joe Girardi.
We all did that, yes.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
And I don't know what would have happened last year if Girardi was manager. To be fair, was he better than Rojas? Probably, but who the hell knows? You still want Joe Girardi? He's available.
Not today, but in the time. No.
Fire Buck?
No.
Let's go get Joe.
Here's why I will not accept that as a clear defeat. All right?
Woo!
2 reasons. When Joe Girardi was fired after the American League Championship Series in 2017, the Mets were in such a rush to replace Terry Collins, they hired Mickey Callaway.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
How did Mickey Callaway do in the 2 years he was the manager of the New York Mets? Go ahead. Answer that question.
Not well.
Not well. Okay.
Yes.
Then, after they fire Mickey Callaway, Joe Girardi is ready to manage. He's good to go. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
And the New York Mets instead decide to hire Carlos Beltran.
Right? We know how that blew up.
We know how that went. They then pivot to Luis Rojas.
Yep.
While Girardi clearly failed in Philadelphia, I am not going to argue that. You are judged on wins and losses.
In case you did miss the news, the reason I bring this up today is that Joe Girardi was fired today as manager of the Phillies.
Yes. If Steve Cohen owned this baseball team 4 years ago, 5 years ago, Joe Girardi would have been the manager of the New York Mets.
But he didn't.
No, and I don't know if the results would have mirrored what happened in Philadelphia. So, like today, am I happier with the way things turned out in this moment that Buck is the manager of the New York Mets? Absolutely.
Sure.
No question about it. But I can't go back at the last three managers before him and assume that would have been worse. They would have been better off with Joe Girardi as the manager.
And I want to see all the columnists that wrote all their articles, because I went back and researched that everyone here wrote an article.
Doesn't mean we were wrong.
The New York Mets should roll out the red carpet for Joe Girardi.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and by the way,
oopsie-doopsie.
There is no oopsie-doopsie, because in this moment of today, they're better off with Buck Showalter, but what about the other moments? You don't think Joe Girardi would have been a better manager than Luis Rojas?
I acknowledge that.
So you acknowledge that.
You can't predict that they would have won.
So if you're acknowledging that and you can't predict what the outcome would have been.
Well, he was already the Phillies manager.
Which time?
When Luis Rojas got named manager.
Carlos Beltran. That's why I said Beltran's name.
Fair enough.
They hired Carlos Beltran.
Yeah.
They could have hired Joe Girardi. They rushed to hire Mickey Callaway. They could have waited and hired Joe Girardi. They had two opportunities to hire Joe Girardi, and in both cases, hired whom as their manager?
Yeah.
By the way, Mickey Callaway was fired this week, sucking down in Mexico.
Right.
All right. I guess the team was 500, whatever. Plus the off-the-field stuff that we know about.
Which is the bigger story with him.
I can't declare that would have been a failure if the Mets had listened to the masses and hired Girardi. I can't.
I think I can.
Much like, you know what else you can't do?
Go ahead.
You can't assume that the Yankees made the right decision firing him. Because the Yankees haven't won a damn thing since they fired Joe Girardi.
They have been in the postseason every year since firing him, but they've not gotten to a World Series. That's true.
And they haven't gone as far as they did in 2017.
In Girardi's last season here, yes, I'm aware of that.
So you can look at his
failure
failure
in Philadelphia. But the Yankees have not been a failure from a standpoint of making the playoffs.
No one said that.
They just haven't gotten to a World Series or as far as
Girardi
got.
Gone as far as Joe Girardi did. And to look at what happened in Philadelphia, which is a cesspool.
Yeah, I knew this was going to happen.
No, because I got to argue it because I disagree with you. Gabe Kapler, how's he doing now?
Gabe Kapler is under fire right now for the anthem stuff, and the Giants are not the team they were last year.
They won 106 games last year.
I know.
He was considered a loser in Philadelphia. Maybe it's the Phillies organization.
Possibly.
Is that possible?
That's certainly on the table.
Maybe Bryce Harper is a born-bred loser.
But here's what I know today.
Is that not possible?
Yeah, the Astros won a World Series the first year he wasn't on the team.
Maybe Dave Dombrowski, that Bob Husler lookalike, and I love Bob, maybe he shouldn't have built a team with a bunch of stiffs defensively.
Maybe not.
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe he should have built a bullpen instead of relying on Corey Knievel and Jairus Familia.
Evil son, as you all know.
So come on now. Yeah. Let's not put this all on Joe Girardi and assume that if he came to the Mets or stayed with the Yankees, disaster would have ensued.
Here's what I know in the moment, and I can only talk about things that are happening right now in the moment. The New York Yankees have the best record in baseball. The New York Mets have the best record in the National League. They are both in first place with a somewhat comfortable gap between them and second place. So Aaron Boone and, for the moment, Buck Showalter, better people now.
And here's my other problem with you.
Just admit it, Mets fans.
No.
You got this one wrong.
Here's my problem with you.
Go ahead.
If you had a microphone in front of you, in the moment where Joe Girardi was available.
Sadly, I did not.
And I wish you did.
I wish I did.
Because
Trust me.
Take you into the world, the alternate universe where Craig was still at the fan.
Okay, let's do that.
Take the megaphone out, big shot.
They've not replaced the batteries, or else I would.
Craig Carton would have had the megaphone out demanding, screaming, pleading for Joltin' Joe Girardi to be the manager of the New York Mets, and do not deny it.
Joltin' Joe Girardi. I can't say what I would have did.
Oh, come on.
But I know I know where I am today, and I can only live in the moment today. And right now, not having Joe Girardi for the Yankees and or the Mets is a good thing. Sorry. Just admit you got one wrong,
No,
fans.
I'll admit that today, of course.
Maybe we should bring Brody back, too.
Stop it
Seems
now.
like that Kelenic deal's a pretty good one.
Now you're pushing it.
No?
In this moment.
You don't love having Diaz closing out games?
Look, you can make some good moves, but a broken clock is right twice a day.
I hate that line.
But it's true.
I hate that line.
But it's true. Sometimes there are lines that are annoying and stupid, but they're so accurate. Look, 95% of Met fans, I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah. Want a Girardi, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I
over
agree.
a Mickey Callaway, over even a Carlos Beltran.
Yeah.
Because he was a World Series manager who handled New York. What happened in Philadelphia is not my problem, it's not your problem, and it's not indicative of what would have happened here.
Well,
I'm sorry.
But I know what's happening here.
I don't accept that loss.
Well, you have to take an L on this one because I'm making you. Sorry. In a year and a half, I've never made you take an L. You usually earn the L as I do. As Met fans, come on. Just be honest. You got to take the L.
We went through some
You're
really...
in a far better place today than you ever could have been.
What? No question, bro.
Yes.
I agree with the moment of today, but we went through some horrific managing to get here. We went through 2 years of Mickey Callaway, 2 years of Luis Rojas, the Beltran embarrassment to get here. And yes, correct. Here's where I'll take an L or agree with you.
Give it to me.
In the moment today that we exist in, I am so happy Buck Showalter's the manager of the Mets, and I'm even sure Yankee fans are happy Aaron Boone's the manager of the Yankees.
Well, that part's not true. Yeah, Yankee fans are happy that the Yankees swept the Angels yesterday. They're happy that they didn't call a balk on Cortez like they should have with when he picked off Ohtani on first base, which clearly a balk.
They're also happy that Jamison Dion didn't have a perfect game snapped because the Yankees couldn't score a run. It's like the 10th inning of a 0-0 perfect game, which I thought we were headed
So
towards.
are Yankee fans happy today? Yes, they are. But if the Yankees lost, let's just say tonight to the Tigers, they're going to blame Aaron Boone for it. Yankee fans are not in love with Booney just yet, but they're very happy with the team. There is a dichotomy there amongst Yankee fans between their love of the Yankees' success and them wanting to credit Aaron Boone, which is not fair, but I do think that's real.
If the New York Yankees struggle, and I'm not saying that's going to happen, I'm talking about like a real struggle where we forget this 36-15 start.
Yeah.
Do you think Yankee fans would pine for the now available Joe Girardi?
Pine for him? No. I think the way it would breathe would be just more anti-Boone as opposed to pro-Girardi. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In other words, listen, he has a 4-year contract. He ain't going anywhere. But if the Yankees fell on their faces for the next month, I think you'd hear more cries about Boone as opposed to, hey, Girardi's available.
The only reason I asked that is because for a while when Boone struggled over the last few years, or at least when Yankee fans got angry at Boone, the guy they would scream about to replace him with was Buck Showalter.
Right.
That was the guy.
Yep.
That was the guy in the yes booth just waiting there.
And a lot of people thought, and this is probably inaccurate, so I'm just say that, there's a lot of rhetoric out there that the only reason Buck was working TV in New York was to take that job.
Maybe.
There's a lot of people that felt that
keeping yourself
way.
out there isn't a bad thing. But look, Joe Girardi may have
I
been
hope
a
you
success.
tell Mark Jones that.
What was that?
I hope you tell Mark Jones that.
Tell him what?
Stay in the media. You'll get another chance one day.
What happened to Mark Jones?
Oh, you didn't see what happened last night?
No, I watched the whole game. You're talking about the call?
Yeah.
The call that made me rewind my TV 6 times?
I mean,
but he's not getting fired for that.
He'll never do a major game again.
You think Mark Jones, because of
his
a call,
career is in trouble.
Because of a call last night that was so bizarre.
Yeah.
I had to pause the Met game, rewind the basketball game to make sure I heard correctly what he was referring
it's funny.
to.
And I was wondering, I knew you'd go back and watch the game at some point. I was wondering if you watched it live or not.
No, I was live.
Because I did the same thing. I was like, what? Wait a minute. He said what?
I was live, and so I have the basketball game, I have the Met game on, right?
Celtics-Warriors game on last night. Celtics have this furious comeback, and they outscore the Warriors in Golden State 40-16 in the fourth quarter.
One of the more stunning fourth quarters you'll ever see. The game ended up not being close. Like, they moved past them and never looked back.
Yeah.
And Mark Jones uttered something that when I first heard it, I said, wait, what did he say?
I don't think he's going to get fired.
No, I don't think he's going to get fired.
He's never doing a finals game ever again.
He's not doing a finals game because Mike Breen is going to be over COVID and he's going to be back.
I also think whatever the totem pole is of play-by-play announcers for the network, I think he's dropped down a few. Yeah.
Do we have this call? We need to play it right now.
Here's the setup. Celtics are on this ridiculous fourth quarter run. They've gone up 8. They're about to take a 3. I don't know where you have it from, so I'm setting up maybe a little advance of where you have it, but you'll get the point. So they're up 8, okay? They make a 3 to go up 11. And Mark Jones, doing the game with Mark Jackson because Van Gundy's got COVID, Breen's got COVID, said something that left everybody watching scratching their heads. Here it is.
Wide open Smart. Cash! And the Celtics have stormed ahead. This insurrection has them leading by 11.
I'm sorry? The Celtics have stormed ahead, now up 11 on the Smart three-pointer, and he referenced the insurrection? What?
When I first
heard he could have
it,
left it. He said cash.
Yes.
Which was a call that I did many, many years ago with Boomer now when we did the Net Phoenix Suns game at Barclays. Cash, money, cha-ching.
Oh, that's fine.
He
Nothing wrong
went
with
cash,
that.
all good. Now they're up 11. Storming an insurrection?
Well, if he leaves it at storming back, was still good.
Okay.
I think we're fine.
Because that's got no context
of course,
to it.
Like, the Celtics did storm back. Like, that's very accurate. But when you say storm, and then a few words later whip out a word that you very rarely hear during a sporting event.
Be honest, prior to January 6th a year ago, had you ever used the term insurrection?
Very rarely.
When not, rereading a history book in school?
The only other time I used it was the name of a WWE British pay-per-view called Insurrection.
Fine. Great.
Outside of that,
never.
No, I'm backing you up.
Yeah.
Outside of that. So he says storm,
what are we doing?
And then insurrection.
And by the way, that doesn't come off the cuff. Cash might come off the cuff, or that probably is like a saying he uses a lot. In a big 3, a big shot in a money moment, right?
Right.
But to come up with insurrection and storming.
He thought about it.
You had to prepare that.
And while you're preparing that, do you actually think this is a good idea?
I mean, based on how we are all reacting to it, again, it's not offensive.
No, it's just
There's
stunning.
nobody upset, he didn't offend a group of people, I don't think. There's no one writing letters to ESPN going, I can't believe he said insurrection, right?
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It's not that he should be fired, suspended, or even have to apologize. I'm just stupefied that he said it.
But for him, listen, this is a career moment, even for a guy that's been a play-by-play broadcaster successfully for the better part of 2 decades now.
Right.
He's had a great career.
Yeah, I actually like him.
But
I have no issue with him.
When the network says, because someone else gets sick, here's your Wally Pipp moment, right, Lou Gehrig? Here's your chance to call an NBA Finals game. If you excel, all of a sudden your stock's on the rise. You make more money. You get better assignments.
So you think it's going to impact his career? You really do?
Yeah, I do.
So you don't think he's getting fired, suspended, or anything like that?
He does not deserve to be fired.
Dude, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Do you think he ever acknowledges it and apologizes?
No.
Does he have to even do that?
No, because again, I don't think anyone's offended by it. I think we were stupefied by it.
Stupefied, yes.
Like we're all watching the game, and it was like you said, wait a minute. Let me rewind that.
And you know what's crazy?
Did he just say storm and insurrection?
So when I heard it, all I heard was insurrection. I didn't pick up on the storming.
Yeah.
I just said, boy, that's weird. Insurrection. Let me rewind it. When I rewinded it and I heard storming and then insurrection, that's when my head really exploded.
Now, I even took the steps last night before I went to bed. I looked up the definition of insurrection because I know what I thought it meant.
Right.
But I wanted to just look it up just to know exactly.
So what is the definition of insurrection?
Okay. A violent uprising against an authority or government.
Okay.
Now play the play-by-play quote again. Go ahead.
Wide open Smart. Cash.
Stop it. Stop it. By the way, If you just stopped at cash, great call.
Yeah, that's fine.
All good. Play it again.
Wide open Smart. Cash. And the Celtics have stormed ahead. This insurrection has them leading by 11.
This insurrection, this violent uprising against an authority or government has them leading by 11. Was Nancy Pelosi playing point guard?
Well, Craig, the Warriors are the authority. They've won how many NBA titles?
They've got a few.
They've got rings all over the place.
Yeah.
The Celtics have no experience. Even their veteran Al Horford's in his first NBA Finals game. What a performance
and he
by
had a
him.
great night last night. What,
So
he had 4
maybe-
threes, 5 threes last
Yeah.
night?
So maybe they're the authority figure as the dynasty. They're the young insurrectionists. And it was pretty violent because it went from a comfortable Warrior lead to a blowout in the fourth quarter. Does that work?
No. I mean, I give you credit for the attempt to help him out, but you're not going to hear Mark Jones doing a lot of games anytime soon. That's how that goes because we're all trying to figure out what the hell he's talking
The
about.
best part's going to be if Mark Jones is ever forced to address it, and I'm sure someday he will. I don't think it's going to be
He'll be
immediate.
at like a cocktail party or at an event where
Yeah.
he's emceeing an event, and he'll take some questions, and someone's going to say, Mark, can you walk us through the insurrection?
And you know what
he's going to say, which one? The one in the Capitol or the one in Game 1 of the Finals? Because they're very similar.
Oh, yes. And you know what he's going to say? I guarantee this. It was all spur of the moment.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to have storming and insurrection in the same sentence.
I wonder if he even, I don't think he has to apologize for anything, but, ESPN, because they're so, crazy over there, I could see someone going, listen, man, you better say something.
My choice of words
Yeah, you better say something.
were not what I intended.
I recognize that an insurrection is serious stuff and our capital, blah, 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 blah. By no means did I mean to invoke the, the things that took place on January 6th. My apologies. I could see that. I don't think it's warranted, but I could see that happening.
He is on Twitter. So I'm seeing if he's addressed it on Twitter. And
Somebody had to call him on it on Twitter, right? With all the beer muscles that we have on Twitter. Someone had to say something to him.
Well, someone might have said something, but I don't see him responding to anything.
Yeah.
He hasn't said anything.
And what's interesting is Mark Jackson didn't say a word.
No.
He was
probably stunned
He's
by
like, man,
it.
I got myself in enough trouble over, all by myself. I don't need to get involved in your trouble, but you're in trouble, buddy. Yeah. ESPN's like, yo, do us a favor. Go get some Regeneron and inject it to Mike Breen's ass for game 2 because we need him back as quickly as possible.
So Mark Jones did tweet last night. This is his words. Man, 36 hours before game 1 of the finals, I was taking my dog to the vet in Miami, then a call. Tonight was a dream come to fruition.
Yeah, it's a big moment for him.
To sit in for Hall of Fame Mike Breen and to call an NBA Finals game with the most talented production crew is awesome.
Yeah.
But other than that,
but you have to
nothing
understand,
else.
even for a guy that's done play-by-play on a network level for 2 decades, which he has, doing an NBA Finals, I'll give you an example. You can't, top of your head, name 5 guys who've done an NBA Finals game on TV.
No, because
there's
Craig,
only been a couple guys.
to your point,
Marv and Breen.
When was the last time Mike Breen didn't call an NBA Finals game?
15 years?
I mean, he's had it
20
forever.
years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's...
And how many did Marv do before him?
Yeah.
20 years? So this is the first guy, not named Mike Breen, not named Marv Albert, to do an NBA final game on network TV that I'm aware of in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And he effed it up. He effed it up.
He effed it up.
Sorry, buddy.
I thought he did a good job overall with the game.
He's a very good play-by-play guy.
I thought he did a really solid job. I enjoyed it. And they had that other broadcast, which I don't know if anyone checked out.
I did not.
So they did an anniversary broadcast where a bunch
Didn't they already do that? 75th anniversary, they did that.
They did that for a regular season game, a Nick game, which you guys blew a huge lead. But they did it here for the final. So Larry Bird was on.
I didn't see that.
I checked out for 5 seconds and flipped back.
Yeah, I was moaning over the fact that BLT Steak has a terrible hamburger. Yeah. I was just, ugh. What a bad order. I felt I was so
it's on you or it's on them?
No, it's on me. Well, it's on them because they make a bad burger and their bun sucks.
Right.
It's on me for ordering it. Yeah. I try to get cute. I try to get a little clever. I'll have the burger. Ugh. I didn't even eat it.
I'm sorry I ruined your night.
I went home hungry. Had a pint of ice cream instead.
That's how you made up for it.
Yeah. I was so upset. I really was. And then Mark Jones ruined it.
Francisco Lindor ruined my night.
Francisco Lindor.
I slammed the door on my finger, and now I can't play.
And Bobby Ojeda cut his finger on hedge clippers. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I find the story very unbelievable. Everyone's just buying
We're going to get into it coming up.
Yeah, sure, fine, whatever.
Yeah,
Come on.
The story is unbelievable, but we'll give it to you and get your take on it. In the meantime, you're a Met fan. Just admit you made a mistake, and it's for the first time in your life as a fan, you're glad you got one wrong. You're glad Joe Girardi's not your manager because you just got fired by Philadelphia.